Fucking no Google services piece of trash is annoying. It's fun. Well, friends now. Probably not gonna be dealing with that stuff. Alright. The evening maybe then? I don't know, we'll see. Just want to like message the taxi thingy company. Comment. Can you please work? Just open a bunch of garbage that I don't need. Thank you. Actually, wait, maybe this menu will give me some contacts. How's going, Huxer? How's life? How is life? Life is a life. I see, I see. The classic, the classic. I should probably like install that a while ago actually. Oh, I did. I didn't make an account though. Get the line going now also, I guess. I'll read a new book, always fun. Which one? Which one? One moment, just gonna make an account real quick then. I'm at least 11 years old. The fuck they have with that? With the age requirements for that up. Comment. Done here. Paste next, bro. What are you on about? There we go. And sort that real quick. Odd friends, yeah. Totally all the friends using that line. Absolutely. Absolutely. One sec. The atomic habits, I see. The reactor in case you get lost, I see. Alright, one moment. Now it should, I think, kind of work. Brother, open. I'll do it in the VOD. The more you travel, the less you like having no fucking Google services on your phone. Like all those automatic APIs and clicking things, they just don't fucking work. Just need to open it here real quick and scan the shit. One moment. Alright, well, let's see if they're gonna answer today. Sorting out the transfer real quick here. Alright, sorry. Organizing stuff already because time zone is like 4 PM already and it's Sunday, so it's already most likely no one's gonna be reading shit today even. But maybe, I'm not sure. They should be working probably for the taxi and everything after all, so we'll see. Alright, let's get into the gaming news then. See what is up on Steam, see what is up with news. Wait, no rest for the weekend with the free weekend. See. I got the co-op update and stuff, right? New Cycle, I remember playing demo. How's that going? I remember they had like this like the AI dialogues there going with NPCs. Got still early access then. I see. I see. No rest for the weekend, you mean, Glorious? A big farming update. They still keep pumping. Do they have like the disclosures and stuff now? I think it was way before the disclosures and stuff. Nope, doesn't seem like it. Maybe they cut that feature, but yeah, I think in dialogue was with the AI stuff embedded there. Let's see. Didn't like this one. Let's see. The guys see. How's my Nordlords going actually? They be updating the bunch since last time I played. But I'm kind of not so sure when it's good to hop back in. When it's gonna be a good time. I mean, release obviously will be good, but maybe there will be some other time to do it. We'll see. It will be nice to return to it. I don't have the... Oh yeah, they do. Development news. January. A major update was in December. Core systems rework, actually. Alright. Interesting, interesting. They keep pumping then. That is good. It will be nice to return. I do be feeling like some cozy manure lords. We'll see, we'll see. Maybe again like back in Armenia or something. But actually that will be probably already not the best times because it's gonna be like pretty busy most likely. But now it's still kind of like this luxury of being able to just play some like backlog and stuff. And I think February for me is also kind of like that. I think I'm still gonna have like pretty decent amount of sort of free time there. I think. Actually, one moment. I'm gonna switch the different Wi-Fi here and turn the Wi-Fi on the router in case it's gonna start overheating. One moment, just switch to this one. Nice. There we go. One second, just gonna go switch it around then. Okay, I need also to put the charger in. And good thing I just realized that. Because it's almost a dead game. Alright, Wi-Fi off. There we go, good them. Ooh, good. Let me get some AC actually on, whatever. To not sit in the heat. Close the balcony and get all nice and comfy. All nice and comfy. Done. Some food here we kind of do need to consume, so might as well. Like still in the 6-pack of cans there. Might as well. So we're not leaving that behind. Might do as well. Here we go. There we go. Good. Alright. Drone light. Let's see, do you guys see? Which one's that? That's gonna be the tree. The tree punk soon already, I think, wasn't it? Sure how similar and good that will be. I somehow, like, after the demo didn't really like vibe with it too much, to be honest, not gonna lie. I don't know why. I guess like just the setting and stuff, and the looks are kind of not exactly my jam. And the sea-based one, I see. Alright, that does sound kind of nice. It does sound kind of nice. That does sound kind of nice. Shrouded for 12 buckaroos. No, regional pricing still. Fable on sale. I don't have Fable, right, whatsoever. Because like with new Fable coming, I probably should play the OG also, right? That would be kind of like the boomerang material. Kinda. Which one would be the OG stuff though? Was it the anniversary one even? Yeah, the HD visuals and audio, right? We'll need to get that. We'll need to get that. We'll need to do this one too. When? That's the real question. That's the real question. When was the the release date, supposedly. I forgot, there was no exact one. Oh yeah, the fall, and the fall 2026. I mean, it probably will happen. It probably will around that time. It's not like there's gonna be like any much better time into play. It could be summer though, I guess, because summer sometimes is not super busy with releases. Maybe it's gonna be actually good to play then. And maybe a wicked seed, the questionable thumbnail sorta too. The fuck? Sounds kinda sus. I see, I see. I'll play that one. I see, alright. Oh, that one is out already. 23rd January. Actually pumping some real good reviews. Seems alright, already patching and stuff too, I see. Already doing a little bit of patching, The enjoyer is already going in. The Turbo Mario, alright. This one does look kinda nice. The more like Kumar baiting there and stuff. Modern day horror RPG. A tactical combat and survival horror roots. Insane. Actually good reviews still, holy. Only the costumes, alright. Similar to Dragon's Dogma. So one way to put it. So you know, it doesn't even look that good now. The damage, like the fonts for damage and stuff, kind of like make it look way more scuffed. Honestly, to be honest. Not just the numbers as a fact, but even though that also kind of doesn't help, but like the fonts and stuff. I don't know, dude. I don't know, dude. Was surprisingly good, actually. Damn, son. Oh yeah, like I mean, I see. I could see that. I could see that. The Coomer enjoyers, Totally had some fun with that. A weird RPG 2. Damn, how did we miss the first part? How did we miss the first part? Innovative third-person action RPG.
But rather a dance of cosmic creativity, inviting us to embrace the impermanence of all things. Just as the ocean waves rise and fall.
Choose traditional weapons, fight monsters fairly. Activate cheats and like godly powers. Okay, what is this shit? 1KS. A voice-controlled gear system. It does seem very dank. It does seem very dank. 30 or like 5 hours, alright. Well, I mean, with that price, I wouldn't even complain, I guess. And the what is that? A Glory Death loot. A party of the waters then. Is it out of early access? Yep. August 2023.
Like a melody that rises and falls, music too follows the dance of entropy. With each note and chord a fleeting moment of beauty that fades into silence, reminding us to savor each moment and appreciate the fluctuation of all things.
This looks pretty dank. RPG roguelike and other battlers then. Performations assign equipment to decide the fate of up to 10 buildings. As you lead the raid through reckless runs filled with glory, death, and loot. Looks kinda alright. No, the Mio game mostly positive, huh? I thought that one will be kinda farm and super hard. That seems kinda like, you know, the Temu Ori, I guess. Not play this game before massive quality of life patch inevitably comes. Permanent health loss for exploring is one of the worst design decisions I have ever seen. Spit in my face and tell me it's art. Alright. I take away my positive review just like the game did to Mio Health. Alright, so they got some interesting gimmicks going there, eh? Ruined by second half of the game. A very low amount of checkpoints. Exploration makes no sense. Under a reverse progression. Advancing the game, you become weaker. I see. That does not sound fun. That does not sound very fun. A dude complaining about Silksong. Setting the trend of every Metroidvania becoming like as blasting experience there. True say true. Taoyuan village to heal your loneliness. Can lead carefree, self-sufficient life, farm tame animals, raise livestock, fish, and build prosperous homestead. Immerse in village life, meet kindred spirits, find love, influence their destinies with your choices. And Chinese devs also like found the infinite money glitch, I guess, with making Stardew likes. They probably will get like way danker takes on the genre though, so might actually be kinda interesting, I guess. For the enjoyers, at least something new, the new perspective on the same concept. Got some insane boss fights even. Insane. Finding tons of different animals there. I had a one-turn kill. Yeah, this one is still farming. This one's still farming. Saw it last week already. Legendary Heroes saw last week too. This we also saw last week, and this we saw. No new games. Gaben. Where is the games, dude? Helldivers is back. Got some like new update already out or something. The Arc Raider is still pumping though. The XRSC, boy. 100 vampire cats. Every week, man. More booba endurers there, I see. A roguelike deck builder. So not just the booba even. They just went ham with that stuff, alright. See how it is, huh? See how I see, huh? The artist is quite something with the essay, huh? Hey, so hello. Get yourself a deck builder, huh? For your Steam Deck, eh? Out tomorrow. Insane. Insane. A reincarnation insurance program. Top-down roguelite shooter. Diablo style thing with survivor like mayhem. Alright, I see. Classic. Chromatic conundrum. Puzzle where you manipulate a light. Combine different colors and form shadows to illuminate your way through an enigmatic world. Alright. The puzzles, the 4D puzzle. Wait, which one was that? Which one was that? The 4D one. The Ultimate Hacker Simulator. We've seen that one already in upcoming before. Cyber secrets and foil mass surveillance as kill the hacker man in Hack Hub. Challenge authority to write the rules, emerge as the ultimate digital rebel. A realistic terminal. Boog. More work simulators, yeah. Don't you like that? Don't you like that? Oh, the anti-chamber. Ah, I see, I see. I see. 1 second. Need that too. Let's send to another taxi one. Okay, this one actually looks like it's answering at least. One moment. Let's see. They will be actually answering before there's like some insane AI bot sitting there also. The usual sheet. Just the DLC, he didn't do everything there, I see. Arcadium, Space Odyssey. Who dat? Who dat? Survival roguelite set in a dynamic, ever-changing universe. Journey across space, harvest planetary resources, craft powerful builds, eradicate relentless waves of aliens. Each playthrough unveils a new and uncharted universe, ensuring endless challenges and discoveries. Still kind of more like a survival like that. Sorta. Gonna play the base still. Well, you probably like with all the DLCs and updates, you're probably gonna be the ALMOs. This guy did answer, so I guess other guys not gonna go. Alright, let me check though. Yeah, just gonna arrange the car for tomorrow then. I'm at it. Sorry, one moment. When we need to be there. Book it, just go on the book it then. And we'll be good. to see. Moment. That's so annoying. Just gonna check if the address is gonna be right. I'm not showing. Alright, I think this works. One moment, almost will be and send them. Let's see if it gets confirmed then. But it looks like we should be good. At least that is also out of the way. That is nice. Good. Nice, look nice already. That seems quite fast. How much did it take in total? To ship and everything. Adapter. Shut it up. Okay, and another one also woke up. Dude, why? Well, actually, I guess that's fine. Sorry. But I kind of want to, because of the time zones, I need to deal with it now. Because it's already kind of getting late and it's Sunday. Still gonna be more info though they require, I guess. Alright. The best timings for everything. It is what it is, I guess. Alright. Alright. So also tomorrow already. A whole bunch of stuff for the Monday there. A whole bunch of that. A drunkard simulator. Another one. The Playway. No, that doesn't look like Playway. Yeah, that's someone else. That is already some thumbnail already kinda shows, you know. Hey sheep, hello. How we doing, man? How's life? How is life? The insane content creator slope there, I guess. There it is. There it is. With some saucy arts there. Some AI generated voice lines, music, and sound effects. I feel like some pictures are also kind of saucy, you know, so I'm not sure if it's only limited to that you actually specify there. I'm not so sure. This one there. Mr. President. Insane trailers there. Like I thought maybe it's like FMV or something, but then you see the screenshots and it's kind of not. 27th of January there, huh? Insane. Screenshots say Excel Simulator, yeah. Quite even, quite even. It would be kind of dangerous with that if there will be actually more of the FMV cutscenes and stuff like that. I think that would be way better. The High Guard, there it is, dude. Oh, this one also requires secure boot, I see. Actually free to play. 27th of January. And it is like tomorrow, I think they're gonna do some sort of like broadcast with like the gameplay and everything for this one. And they actually alive, and it's actually happening. The Joe's favorite game, yeah. He did more marketing for them than they ever did, than they ever tried even. He was the only one doing the marketing even, really. The only one doing that marketing even. Flops. I kind of do low-key wanted to actually go good. Just so like all the people who just by default, you know, like as soon as gonna be trash, so they all kind of ended up like playing that stuff. That would be kind of funny. That would be kind of funny. Concord wasn't enough an example. Well, one of the big problems of Concord was that they were still charging quite a lot of money for that shit. And this one at least is free, so you know, it already has way better chances there. Secure boot and CPM, yeah, that's like a lot of shooters nowadays require that shit, the cheater protection. Basically, and the Concourse Open beta didn't go well. I mean, true. But I think that's partially also because it was like paid anyway, so like people didn't even like go in because like why would you even like, you know, spend time on the thing that is gonna be completely dead and irrelevant anyway. This one gonna also had a hard time with people already defaulting their opinion that it's gonna be complete dog. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, kind of low-key want this one to actually be okay. Well, I mean, why would you even want something to fail in general, right? In the first place. Some innovative gameplay. Well, I mean, they do have at least, you know, the destructible environments and stuff, right? So that's kind of alright, I guess. But everything else, yeah, not so sure. Not so sure how much innovation will be there. I do think it kind of can go. Like right now, there is not a lot of big releases anyway, right? Like Arc Raiders is still pumping, but I feel like a lot of people already probably kind of getting like tired of like constantly playing that. So I think it might actually get some time of the day on streams and stuff, potentially. But it's kind of hard to say because a lot of streamers, especially at the top nowadays, are kind of very like audience captured, you know. So if the audience is shitting on the game, then they probably will avoid, you know, touching it even because they would need to deal with all this, with all the PPGs in chat with that. So a lot of people, I think, just, you know, prefer to avoid things that chat will give them shit for. And looking at their marketing plan, I don't think they're going to be sponsoring a lot, probably. But I mean, you never know. Maybe that's where all the marketing will go, and they just kind of sponsor a bunch of people. And then if it's good, maybe, you know, it actually kind of goes somewhere. Will it be for long, though? I'm not so sure. I am not so sure if it has longevity, really. This such concept of the game nowadays. Yeah, people do be liking the grave dancing. You know, kind of weird in general, right? Like, it's basically kind of like, well, maybe we do, maybe that's all like a lie, right? But I kind of don't think it is. That, you know, it's just like Geoff kind of saw the game and liked it and offered them, you know, the dang final slot in his show, right, for free. Like, he did a good thing and did support, you know, I wouldn't say small, I guess, devs, right? It's like the devs with the pedigree, at least, right? So like, he gave them like, you know, some free marketing, basically. A really good spot with it also, right? And all that did is like a lot of people shitting on it because they thought it's kind of like some sort of like, you know, super big, like it took the slot that what they were expecting there's gonna be something actually super pog, and they got this instead. And I feel like devs didn't really want that, right? Because I mean, didn't pay for it, they didn't ask for it, and like Joe did it himself. So in the end, you know, how is like the road to hell is paved with like good intentions, right? That kind of like seems like exactly the example. Just wanted to give the devs, you know, some free marketing and sort of like shout out. Ended up just making it probably worse for them, because otherwise it would probably just release in kind of like, you know, in free to play mode. Some people probably would try it and stuff, and maybe if it's good, people would, you know, kind of enjoy it, and it will go somewhere. But now they're basically starting not from zero. Now they're starting from kind of negative. Even though I guess they did still get the PR, right? Maybe with negative sign, but they still got some eyes on the game. So I don't know. Maybe that will be in the end a good thing. MKHPLO, how we doing, man? How's it going? But yeah, I do kinda hope it's gonna do good, eh? Yeah, not exactly my jam, and I also don't really want like messing with all the secure bullshit, honestly. Not for this game, at least, for sure. So I'd rather not. Not exactly my jam anyway. But it would be nice to see it actually go somewhere. Alright, let's see in the insane hidden gems here. Suddenly. Right. The quarantine zone, we saw that one. That did kind of solid numbers there. Some news about that too. Paratopia, XD developer. The mixed reviews. Multiplayer life simulation game. Avoid mixed though, some server issues or something. Awful PC port. Oh, I see. I'm playing a mobile game on an emulator. I see, alright. Controls absolutely diabolical and unplayable. Uncontroller support. Yeah, I see, alright. Whoever greenlit this for PC with these controls need to be fired, eh? Okay. Insane port then. I see. Let's see, HVSA. Oof. Oh yeah, hope at least Well, at least he kinda alright otherwise. That's something already. Very positive on this one. It's actually kind of not pumping like an insane numbers of reviews though. Weeb's not weebin. What is this? What is this magic? Weeb's actually not weebin. Thank you, KHP, thank you. And most people console for these games, I see. The PC weebs are not enjoying these. Oh, dude, Neo 3 also in February. Well, I mean, I still need to play the second one, if I'm gonna get access to the third. And if I want to without playing the second one. Otherwise, Neo would kind of go hard, though, not gonna lie. Academic Citadel. More weeb stuff. We've seen this one last week, I think. Hopefully the same as in 1 again. Yeah, I wonder. Are they still doing the same stuff there? Yeah, I saw this one before. Wind stop strategy. This one we also saw last week, I think. Gaben again doing all repeats there. Seen that before, and the big hopes we also seen before. Big hopes with good reviews, but the amount is not exactly that bogan. Not bogan that much, at least. And this one we saw too. Was an upcoming. Okay, this one was an upcoming probably. And the super cheap like you. The uncooked schnitzel quest. Yeah, that one we saw. Very positive. Over the hill. Golden age of off-roading. Iconic vehicles from 60s to 80s. It was so iconic then. Why is it not good enough now? Dream of Corpse Lady, saw that one too. Oh yes, another deck builder with massive plot there. With a lot of plot there. And all very massive. Come on, turn kill also we've seen. In and Kaburai. He also was there. Oh shit, walk. Back to the dungeon. Thank you, sir. Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it a lot. Yeah, we did, man. El Zipon? Nah, I don't think so. What that? Who that be? Elisbon. So, what is the name then? Metaphysical pedagogy disguised as a turn-based JRPG. Ah, there it is. The dankness. As like I say, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Nick with the gifty. Thank you, man. Thank you. Come back to the dungeon, MKHP. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, man. This dink the sheep. This dink this. The art. The art. The art. Coming in 2027. Damn, son. Similar to Hilux and Hilux 2. Damn. That, I mean, not exactly true, but you know, at least the general kind of like vibe, I would say, kind of similar there. Thematically centered on a Western Kabbalah, the realist turn-based RPG, drenched in myth, symbolism, and a hypnagogic irony. Insane, accurate Kabbalistic correspondence. Hub and spoke world design with 10 plus areas to lose yourself in. Philosophy delivered through ironic dialogue. Digital mystery school. Still nice first person turn-based combat. 50 plus unique enemies. 5 plus elemental attack types with 40 plus attacks in different playstyles. Archetypal symbolism presented by strange inhabitants and the quest they give you. Hypnotic and immersive OST and new game plus capabilities. Occasionally includes a psychological philosophy that may be uncomfortable or unsuitable for some people. Dink shit. There's some dink shit right there. Dink shit there. And that's the dinkest one. Well, I wouldn't call it really the dinkest one, but I'd say pretty dink indeed. Pretty dink indeed. Alright, let's get them news. Let's get to them news. I did check out all I wanted to check there, so we good. Alright, what is up? What is up on Steam overall with the numbers? The Rust is pumping again. Stardew also still doing it. People want the farms, man. They yearn for the farms. Looks like. They just want the farm shit. And nothing else. I mean, War Thunder recently is also going crazy. By the looks of it. You have no rest for, no rest for the wicked, the free weekend, right? That's why the numbers are going crazy. I see. Cult of the Lamb with a lot of people there too. Raven's Watch got some people too. Heartopy also a lot of people. Glorious mixed reviews and shit control. That doesn't stop anyone. Nice, Oak, nice. Also gonna hope on that. Why not? Why not? Alright, let's go. It is time. Valve rewrites Steam's Gen AI disclosure rules to more explicitly allow AI-powered efficiency tools, though robot-generated game content must still be declared. So basically using all the assistance is now fine. Now fine. Aware that many modern game development environments have AI-powered tools built into them. Efficiency gains through the use of these tools is not focus of this section. Instead, it is concerned with the use of AI in creating content that ships with your game and is consumed by players. Alright, so yeah, like the assistance stuff, you don't need the disclosure. Only the actual content that is generated, the assets generated. The code assistance is fine. Well, I mean, it's like everywhere now. Sometimes even against your will, so that is kind of inevitable, I guess. Rockstar North remains open and operational following a boiler malfunction. Rockstar confirmed that everyone is well. A malfunction in one of the heating boilers at Rockstar North. Many thanks to those that reached out with concern and also to the police and fire crews that were on scene quickly to assess the situation. Please know that everyone is well and our studio remains open and operational. We got the explosion in the building. Monka is the sabotage. Mind's Eye sends its regards there. Explosion in the boiler room. Insane sabotage. True ship, true. True. That is true. Ex-Assassin's Creed lead sues Ubisoft for around $1 million, alleging his exit was a disguised dismissal. Mark Alexis Cote maintains that his departure from the company last year wasn't as simple as him opting to leave. I think he instantly kind of said that, like, you know, he didn't really want to leave. It wasn't a matter of personal choice, but a case of constructive dismissal. That, in non-legalese, means that the developer believes he was left with no choice but to resign, having been offered new roles he viewed as demotions amid a round of corporate musical chairs. Filed in Quebec seeks 1.3 billion Canadian dollars, around 935,000 US currency, in damages on his behalf. That cash is designed to cover 2 years' worth of the developer's salary, plus moral damages and an additional lifting of a non-compete clause, which currently limits his games industry job options. Hey, Forever Blue, hello. Good morning, good morning. Good luck with your work. According to the lawsuit, Kelton learned in summer 2025 meeting that as part of the Ubisoft rearrangement, which came with company setting up new Tencent-backed subsidiary to oversee the running of Assassin's Creed Rainbow Six and Far Cry, they'd be installing a head of franchise based in France. According to Canada-based Cote, that gig absorbed lots of his duties as Assassin's Creed series head, and he was subsequently offered roles as Assassin's Creed production head, reporting that new head of franchise or as the leader of a creative house overseeing another Ubisoft game series. Seamless demotion, Cote's lawsuit asserts that he took 2 weeks to think about things, then declined and asked for his severance pay. Ubisoft cited by the suit as having responded by telling him not to show back up to work, then announcing his departure in a fashion which painted this as being your standard voluntary parting of ways. Got the answer in October. Following organizational restructuring announced in March, Mark Alexis Scott had chosen to pursue new paths elsewhere outside of Ubisoft. We're saddened to see him go. We're confident our talented teams will carry toward the strong foundation he helped build. I'm deeply grateful for the impact Mark Alexis has had over the years, particularly in shaping the Assassin's Creed brand into what it is today. Leadership, creativity, and dedication have left a lasting mark on our teams and our players. Thank him sincerely for his many contributions and wish him continued success in all his future endeavors. He quote Milo, I got fired? Well, that's the thing, he didn't. Like, it's basically kind of like, you know, sort of was forced to get something he doesn't like or just peace out. So he didn't get any severance pay or something that he would get if he would be actually fired. But they pretty much kind of made him quit, which, I don't know, will he be able to kind of prove or something? Because that sounds like something that would be tricky to prove, I guess, that was exactly. Wait one sec. Alright, just gonna send this. We should be kind of fine. I'm gonna be calling to confirm. I wonder. Guess we're gonna be observing. Yeah, booking the transfer for tomorrow, the airport. Elder Scrolls Online will get new zones, but they'll be a different flavor from what came before. Which begs the question, what does Skyrim taste like? So what is gonna be? Players expressed concern that we're not doing zones anymore. And that is not true. We are doing zones, and we are going to talk more about that very soon. And players will be happy when they see what's coming in the next 12-ish months. And with zones, like everything, we are asking ourselves, instead of just here's a zone exactly the way that you've experienced zones before, and taking a look at it at fundamental level. What can we change here to make this more interesting, exciting, and in line with what players want, so it will be a different flavor. Had 45 minutes to deliver a huge amount of information, much of which is difficult to convey and when we can't actually show it yet. One area players are wanting more information is around Tamriel Tomes, the MMO's new battle pass system. Would be a heck of a lot easier if I could just be like, here I'm in the game, let me show you exactly what I mean by this. But they don't have that yet, alright. Won't talk about what our new zones will be added to Elder Scrolls Online. We'll say how the team planned to enrich the world of Tamriel. The same stream, when they announced the move to Seasons, Giacometti and Kat explained that Arsenium, Thieves Guild, Dark Brotherhood, and Imperial City will be folded into the base game. Previously, these locations and their associated quests were all held back as premium content. A broadening of the base game, Giacometti argues, will lead to more opportunities for all players. Gives us more flexibility. When we wanted to make something available for all players in the past, that meant we had to design within these base game zones. And while those zones are big, you are doing yet another series of quests in Auridon or what have you. This enables the design team to explore more. But technically not that much more info though. Quests can be made available to all players, takes them from Auridon to the Imperial City with a stop off in Arsenium, without designers needing to worry about what expansions a player has bought. Alright, we'll see how that will go. Anything but to work on Elder Scrolls 6? I mean, it has nothing to do with Bethesda already, like for years. I think actually from the very beginning even. It's like completely different team working on ESO. Absolutely disconnected. A marathon release date locked in by a Bungie, with the shooter finally set to run out of cover soon. Another one. March 5th, 2026. Alright. We'll see what that's gonna be. Yeah, with like $40 and stuff, I would say High Guard has better chances to survive than this with $40 premium price. I would rather give a High Guard a go than this, honestly. Not gonna lie. You'll no longer earn Steam points from community awards, as Valve tried to kill off clown face farming. A new set of awards designed to keep the vibes positive. God, they're gonna kill the clown completely? Damn, son. The end of an era, dude. The end of an era. I've discouraged people from writing daft and angry posts in order to farm Steam points. You will in fact no longer be able to receive Steam points from other users when they give you awards. Adding insult to injury, there is a new set of awards that are explicitly designed to spread goodwill. Filth. No more clowns, dude. You can purchase these awards using your Steam points earned by buying games and use them in the Steam community to show your appreciation for things like user reviews, forum posts, guides, screenshots, artwork, workshop mods, or even directly on your body's Steam profile. Remove the point farming? Yeah, that's good. That is good. Originally created Steam Community Awards, the idea was for them to not only look cool, but to also grant a small number of Steam points to the recipient, meaning they could be used as a tip of sorts for people who create and share amazing content with the Steam community. It goes on. However, we found that this encouraged and rewarded a narrow set of attention-grabbing content and didn't allow the focus to be as much in a broader pool of thoughtful or well-considered creative content. True. And because of this, we're refocusing the system. Second edition of Steam Community Awards won't transfer points. Instead, the goals of the system will be solely about conveying the appreciation of the viewer to the content creator, and is a signal to others that someone appreciated a piece of content. New awards all cost 500 Steam points apiece and are a mix of flavorless and awfully saccharine. Seriously, if anybody ever reacts to anything I've posted with a picture of a bouncing life preserver, take me outside and gulp me down like a rabid dog. Still, we can rest assured that Steam users will twist their meaning. Give it a few weeks and that bouncing life preserver will probably actually be the Steam user equivalent of gunning somebody down like a rabid dog. I mean, people will find a way, absolutely. They're gonna be animated and stuff too also. People will find new meanings, just kind of like with regular emojis and stuff, you know. The usual. One second. Alright, 1 second. Good. Cyberpunk 2077 VR mod flatlines after CD Projekt filed DMCA strike and request its creator drop their paywall. Ah, that's the paywall mod. There it is. Every little action that the company takes is in the name of money, but everything that modders do must be absolutely for free. Modern Lacrosse accused the company of being all about making money. Oh, there you go. Brother Mon is with some interesting speeches there, I guess. Many of you noticed that two of my recent posts disappeared about a week ago. I apologize, I could not comment personally about the fact, because there was an ongoing legal exchange. Now that the dust settled, even more sorry to announce that we are leaving behind an adventure so many of you deeply loved and enjoyed. CD Projekt SA decided that they would follow in Take-Two Interactive Software steps and issued a DMCA notice against me for the removal of the Cyberpunk 2077 VR mode. And this framework offering various VR support forks for a bunch of different games. Alright. In order to grab Cyberpunk VR, folks have had to take out a paid subscription to Ross's Patreon. The mod also lists some works for free on GitHub. That, according to a post from CD Projekt Business Development Vice President Jan Rosner, was the crux of this takedown strike. We have indeed issued a DMCA strike as it was available as a paid mod, only accessible to Patreon subscribers, and this directly violates our fan content guidelines. We never allow monetization of our IP without our direct permission and or an agreement in place. We were in touch with Luke last week and informed him that he needs to make it free for everyone with optional donations or remove it. I mean, that's kinda basic stuff, no? That's what we were talking before about, like the paid mods and stuff, right? Like as soon as you try to monetize the content that, you know, kind of belongs to another company, well, to the company in general, I guess, right? Like that already crosses the lines, and you are not allowed to do that. Like if you try to make money off their intellectual property without the permission, then I mean, what do you expect, man? Even try to be nice about it, yeah. Basically. It wouldn't seem isn't a road Ross is prepared to go down. As usual, they stretch the concept of derivative work until it's paper thin, as though a system that allows visualizing 40+ games in fully immersive 3D VR was somehow built making use of their intellectual property. And as usual, they give absolutely zero fucks about how playing their game in VR made people happy, and they cannot just be grateful about the extra copies of the title they sold because of that, without ever having to pour money into producing official conversion. No, they're not planning to release their own VR port, in case you're wondering. Modder was making £20,000 per month from their VR modding efforts. Had the publisher issue with the strike. I would Take-Two already. Oh yeah, Take-Two Real VR's GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2 and Mafia Trilogy support had a copyright-focused takedown filed against them back in 2022. As for next steps, Ross used the end of that post to announce that they'd be putting out the VR mod for Baldur's Gate 3 ahead of schedule, without going through the ordinary testing cycle. On the one hand, I understand at least some of the modders are. Well, I mean, yeah, kinda, but I don't know, that sounds really weird. Hey, Revelo. I'm making giga money there, yeah. So I can, like, the thing is, like what would, like, I wonder what would be kind of the good way to go about it, though. I think, yeah, just like optional donos, yeah, probably he wouldn't be probably making 20k, but he still would be making a lot, I'm pretty sure. And no one would be doing any DMC takedowns on his shit then, most likely. Well, actually, Take-Two with the GTA probably still would, knowing them. But like CDPR probably wouldn't do any takedowns. So like if you, I don't know, that's just weird. Like if you develop some sort of framework, I guess, right, for all the VR stuff. Like maybe, nah, I guess kind of also that still also probably wouldn't fly. Like, you know, kind of like selling your sort of like kind of framework, and then for each individual game you can provide the mod for free. So like you can have the mod, but it's not gonna work without like the main thing that is not connected to the games that you need to purchase from him through like subscription or something else. Like I wonder if that would fly, like, you know, from the law perspective, sort of, I guess. Yeah. So we could just go with the what's the name, the crowdfunding stuff. That's like, for example, now like really popular, like in Russia nowadays. Like there is like long time ago already they like dropped all the dubbing, and obviously now they also like a lot of translations are missing quite often, right, in games. So there's a bunch of like enthusiasts with some teams and with some talent, you know, in voice acting and stuff, and they just go like, yo guys, if we raise that much money, we're gonna get the full, you know, voice acting and dub for this specific game. And they usually raise quite a lot of fucking money for all those games. So yeah, I could just go like, yo guys, you want me to make the VR thing for this game? Let's fundraise, sure. But I feel like, yeah, he's probably like trying not to actually, you know, just like fundraise and get like one stack. The goal is actually to kind of like to keep that insane subscription going, to get those numbers higher. But that sounds kind of like weird though. Like if you make that stuff based on like the many different developers' properties, intellectual properties, right? And at the same time you kind of expect to be paid for it. Like, bro, that sounds weird. Just go, you know, work there then. If you expect to actually be paid for that. Otherwise, that just seems kind of weird. That just seems weird. Accuse the company of being all about making money. Oof. System that allows visualizing 40 plus games in full immersive 3D VR somehow built making use of their intellectual property. Well, I mean, they don't care about the system in general, they care about how it applies to their games. So, I mean, I totally understand that. Someone wants to farm on your content. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. Seems kinda weird, man. Seems kinda weird, eh? RuneScape's treasure hunter microtransactions are now gone, restoring integrity as Jagex reveal Integrity Focus 2026 plans integratively. Integrity roadmap with Integrity Focus releases and renewed focus on game integrity. There it is. If I wanted, hello. Late? Yeah, today was starting early. Gonna be a short one. Need to start pucking. Tomorrow we going. Games eroded to a restoration. Hoping to make sure RuneScape put firmly back on track and set up for bright future as it rings its 25th anniversary. Hence the ditching of the treasure hunter microtransactions, their items set to be driven into extinction in the long run to boot. Over the course of 2026, players will have the opportunity to use up any existing stockpiles, additional chances later in the year to clear out anything that remains before these items ultimately made obsolete. A retooled user interface designed to work back on some classic RuneScape furniture, like a circular minimap, and that option to toggle cosmetics like wings into invisible form if they bother you. A World Space update focusing on free-to-play locales like Lumbridge, Draenor, and Varrock. Moving forward through the rest of the year, regular larger additions like the 2-part Havenhide expansion, player-owned housing, player avatars will be packaged with more revamping of existing features. Spring promises a combat update that will aim to modernize the 3 base fighting styles by adding the likes of a basic attack and retooling abilities which are no longer fit for purpose, while 3 rounds of general balancing tweaks are penned in across the year. That's good, thank memes alone. A Root Metrics stat tracking system is also set to drop the pro part of its price of entry, instead being offered to all paid RuneScape members. All in all, sounds like a number of steps in the right direction, albeit with the caveat of Jagex needing to do all of this reintegratizing because they jumped so far into integrityless microtransactions waters to start with. Steam's complete the set bundles can now be gifted with bits your mates already own accounted for. Now got no excuse not to dump about £100 of other Fallout on someone who's trying New Vegas for the first time. There it is. So now it's gonna be the complete the bundle thingy. Given the whole bundle. The price change in relation to the games in the bundle they already owned. It just as happens if you go to buy one of these bundles for your own account. See. That's a good thing to do. That's a good thing to do. Convenient. Find out if you can run a marathon with the extraction shooter system requirements. Damn son, what is it there? A minimum 8 gigs of RAM, 1050 Ti. I recommended 16 gigs, 2060 even. Well, I mean, looking at how the game looks, I would be surprised if they would require a lot, to be honest, for it. Well, wouldn't be surprised, I guess. I wouldn't be, you know, kinda question marking that in general. Nowadays, I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever, I guess, you know. But it does look like it should run on a potato, really. It doesn't have any some super crazy high fidelity graphics and stuff that, you know, should actually run on a potato, no problems. So at least hopefully optimization will be good, but you know, they forgot to optimize the price though. $40 for that? Not so sure. Not so sure. The gear emotes in the universe? I mean, the more the merrier. I haven't checked in a while, there might be more already. There might be more. Should get some more there. I should do a little check, you know. I should do a little check. You know, bot even couldn't handle your shit there. There is even more. Well, we need more. We need even more there. We even need more. Anthem private server experimentations underway as the shooters subreddit mods rethink retirement plans. Insane. They actually doing it. Game up and running with 2 accounts serving as player in the same session. Seems like majority of the player data is handled through BioWare's server instead of a Blaze, and is required for the game to be able to load offline. It's time to hope on Anthem there. Just a proof of concept from my research and experiments, and does not represent current progress on the private server revival project that is currently in progress. still really hacky things. I want to ask people to manage their expectations just a bit. A lot of stuff clearly doesn't work as intended and definitely needs at minimum more polish. We'll see, we'll see. I wonder if there's gonna be some takedowns. Well, to be honest, they do allow like the Warhammer Online to exist for years already, with their permission, absolutely. So I won't be surprised if they will allow that to happen. It would be good. The subreddit will stay alive even, I see. Oh, they want to make it read-only, oh. So now they're not gonna. No, they're not gonna. That's interesting, that's interesting. Yeah, time to return and play some Anthem, dude. How will it actually work though for those who don't own the game? Because you can't buy it already anymore. So like, they can't probably really like, you know, just like, I don't know actually, can they just like release some sort of client for it for free to grab? Like with that I think EA might not really approve. So not so sure how that will do. As it approaches its second early access anniversary, I mean, Shrouded gets a 1.0 release window for later this year. It's abandonware now, wait, really? EA actually like released the rights for it? Like, really now? Sounds kind of weird, huh? I mean, the game is abandoned, but that doesn't mean that the copyrights and stuff are abandoned, though. So might not necessarily be available still. I see. Interesting. 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 I say in autumn it's gonna be a release in. No exact date yet. Still no exact date. Witcher 3 now has online multiplayer thanks to a mod allowing gaggles and gangs of girls together. Yeah, it could be like that they licensed the Middle Earth, like, you know, like the franchise they did license, right? It's not theirs, and yeah, Anthem kind of belongs to them completely. So I wonder. Hey Jordy, hello. How we doing, man? So now you can co-op in Witcher even. Insane. How's life, Jordy? How's life? How is the life? A Life is Strange reunion, and the time-fiddling finale of co-protagonist Max and Chloe's tale arrives in March. There it is. From leaks to actually release. Yeah, well, not released yet, of course, but the info on release at least. More work, Jordy. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. On Sunday. Come on. Come on. I changed the voice actor, I think, on Chloe, right? Wasn't it? Yeah, March 26th. A return as a shocking repercussion of Max's merging of the timelines. At the end of previous entry, double exposure. Chloe's got nightmares of a past she never lived, and also her handy backtalk ability, which is perfect for interrogating suspects to help Max solve the game's narrative puzzles. The last ditch effort to not close the studio? Think so? Think so? Could be, could be. Now, wasn't there like one of the games kind of all doing kind of right at least? One of them at least. Not the Life is Strange ones, but well, actually, like some of the Life is Strange ones also are kind of doing all right, except for the very last probably, I guess. A lot of fans seem unhappy. Well, from what I've seen at least, they changed the voice actress, right, for Chloe, so people not happy with that. The rest I'm not so sure though. Let's see, so I see. Marathon Steam pre-orders no longer automatically try to install Destiny 2 as Bungie fixed Freudian sleep a bug. There it is. At least someone found that bug. Someone actually pre-ordered that. Kick. I resolved an issue where Destiny 2 would begin installing after pre-ordering Marathon on Steam. I have also resolved an issue where Collector's Edition owners would receive an error when attempting to activate a game code on Steam. I resolved the issue where Destiny 2 would begin installing... Okay, again, come on. Destiny 2 file size around 170 gigs. Oof. Now that's a lot of space there, no? Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake and more cancelled by Ubisoft with layoffs potentially on the horizon. Focus is now on open world and live service games. There it is. Part of broader restructure at the company, which will apparently focus on what they call 5 specialized creative houses to reclaim creative leadership and restore sustainable growth. Alongside the Prince of Persia remake, Ubisoft also cancelled development on 5 other games, 3 of them apparently being completely new and 1 being a mobile title. 7 other games they have in the works have been internally delayed as well. Details about these games are next to none, but the general idea behind this move is that Ubisoft want to focus on open world and live service games. Also appears that more layoffs may be in Ubisoft's future too. I already knew that their Halifax studio is being shuttered, but according to VGC, the company is also considering the sale of other assets. On top of this, CFO Frederic Duguet said that there are some people who will be refocused on other big projects, and some may leave the company. Exact figure wasn't specified in terms of staff members being moved or laid off. In terms of these 5 new creative houses, one of them is Vantage Studios, a subsidiary partially owned by Tencent, which will focus on Ubisoft's tentpole series like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry and Rainbow Six. Others will handle series like Splinter Cell, For Honor, Rayman, Beyond Good and Evil, which suggests it's somehow still in development, Just Dance and even Prince of Persia, so clearly Ubisoft still intends to do something with the series. What's gonna happen with the heroes? I mean, the guy's just like, you know, on their own working on the franchise, but like I bet they're also kind of being pretty aware there. Hope that's not gonna affect it, dude. I hope. If you implore the law. It is out of the question to let the boss run rampant. Ubisoft workers strike against disastrous cutbacks. Publishers a return to office announcement decried as effort to destroy our working conditions. Are they trying to get everyone back to the office again? Mandate full return to office with the workers given annual allowance to work from home days instead, something publisher executive justified as a move to enhance collective efficiency and the sense of belonging. Damn, very important senses there. With more layoffs. Initial response to the absurdity of management decisions, it is out of the question to let the boss run rampant and destroy our working conditions. Perhaps he needs to be reminded that it's his employees who make the games. A union also calling for decent pay rises this year and maintaining and extending the teleworking conditions. There it is. 700 Ubisoft staff went on strike over requirement to work in office 3 days a week in October 2024. Wonder what happened after that. Enjoy breakfast, Dave. Enjoy. Detractors of remote working argue that it's less efficient and hinders teamwork. As Ubisoft Senior Vice President of Studio Operations Marie-Sophie de Wubert told Game Industry yesterday, the one and only objective for a new RTO policy is to enhance collective efficiency, to drive the dynamics, the creativity, the sense of belonging. Insane. Sounds very PP again. World of Warcraft devs Blizzard slash outfit transmog prices in half and offer free wardrobe change following a fashion fee furore. Blizzard announced plans to lower the cost of outfit creation prices by 50%. It's insane. Insane farming there. That's the transmog update there. Price reduction currently under development should be available within the next day. Additionally, we're going to try to grant the one free transmog to all player characters as soon as we can. Before the pre-midnight expansion, hopefully via hotfix. Update the hotfixes article once the free transmog is available to use. You have been asking about how the new transmog system will work with the Trial of Style event. Trial of Style is available. Players receive a special transmog outfit slot that can be worn both inside and outside the competition. All transmog updates made to this slot are free. While in competition, this is the outfit players are judged on. Once the Trial of Style event ends, outfit slot is removed. So it was like free and now they want to make you pay for this shit? Sudden hike in clothes changing prices. Part of transition in the MMO transmog system, the feature that lets you slap new visual appearance onto your character's gear while leaving it unaltered under the surface. The patch swaps out paying to apply new appearances to individual bits of gear for a system based around buying slots where you can save transmog setups for full outfits. In theory, cutting down how much paying you have to do in order to swap your gear's look is supposed to be one of the new system pluses. However, with this patch's arrival, folks have found themselves facing the need to pay to wear outfits they previously paid for. How much of a pain at the bottom this is looks to depend on a number of factors, mainly the obvious stuff like how flush your character is with cash and how many alt accounts you're running at the moment. Cosmetic stuff paid with gold, alright. New system upfront cost was manageable and would be worth it in the long run. Spending 1k per outfit, I have an average of 2-3 outfits per character. I have 30 characters. I didn't notice the spending and I'm not even rich. I run 1.5 million gold across all my characters. Previously saved loadouts were converted to custom sets. In the new system, cost the normal amount of gold to apply the first transmog to your character, even if you're simply setting your appearance back to the way it was before. The transmog update, oh, there is drama, so there is article, simple as. Simple as. We all have strong opinions within the studio. Even Microsoft's own game developers are hesitant to use AI. I don't know what our decision is going to be, says Elder Scrolls Online dev. The Scrolls Online team haven't yet found a part of development where they can use it. Right now we generally use it for things like this. A lot of us get a lot of use out of Copilot for meetings, for summaries, inbox organization, stuff like that. But in case of art coding or writing, generative AI is not something the team are using in Elder Scrolls Online development. and its adoption is still in the open discussion within the studio. Don't know what our decision is going to be because we're still having conversations about where we go with that. Obviously, we all have strong opinions within the studio. Obviously, Microsoft has invested heavily in this. That would be a thing that I would imagine we would talk about in the future. Maybe useful right now, there are areas where AI is probably really good at doing things that we don't necessarily want to use it for whatever reasons, and in the cases where it does work for us, we will explore using that. Don't know that I could go deeper. It's hard because we are talking about something where I'm like, we don't use it right now, because the areas where we would anticipate that it would be useful, potentially it might not be where we need it to be yet. In the spirit of openness, having similar discussion with our PS team, for instance, use the AI tool to create a rough transcription of this interview before cleaning it up manually in a separate tool. Isn't something everyone on the team would do, with some choosing not to use any generative AI transcription tools. Still establishing a line on whether these tools can benefit us and if we should use any of them if they could help our work, let alone which tools would take away the parts of the job we actually enjoy doing. The above doesn't even address how using AI tools impacts our relationship with you, the reader. One of the worst things I could do as RPS editor would be to publish an article written by AI. Come to this site to read our work, and it's not something that we couldn't be bothered to write ourselves. Say all this to Kath, ending with how it's complex to navigate. She agrees. For example, it's incredibly useful to do research with, but also I really like doing research. I'm sure that you have encountered the same. Absolutely useful to ask go do a bunch of research for me, but ultimately that's also one of the really fun parts of what I do from time to time. Another day, another couple of people stumbling through the increasingly machine world we live in. Ah, see. The vibe coding. The vibe coding time. Ubisoft didn't cancel Beyond Good and Evil 2 because open world games are a priority, but I suspect the real reason is more boring. The creative houses. Focus on scaling, extending. Yeah, Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, alright, that we've seen, but where goes the Beyond Good and Evil though? Immersive fantasy worlds and narrative-driven universes. Beyond Good and Evil is filed under the latter. I see. Well, so it's still not exactly completely confirmed. Logging on with it, as mentioned in yesterday's press release, Beyond Good and Evil will be part of Creative House 4, dedicated to immersive fantasy worlds and narrative-driven universes. Okay, I see. So they actually confirmed. Beyond Good and Evil 2 remains a priority for us in the context of our strategy centered around open-world adventures. So that one is still happening, even though we haven't heard anything new about it for a long time. I guess we're still not gonna hear nothing about it for even longer, looks like. After pulling Taiwanese horror game Devotion from sale in 2020, GOG say they find their decision difficult to reflect on. That situation remains difficult to reflect on. At the time, we made the decision in the context of very real business constraints, limited understanding of the complex geopolitical factors at play, and the lack of good options that would both protect GOG and partners and allow the game to be released responsibly. In hindsight, we acknowledge that this decision and the way we communicated it understandably damaged the trust our users have in us. Grybiewski went on to say that in order to keep a global digital storefront operating means navigating legal, operational, and commercial realities that don't always allow for ideal outcomes. In 2020, we chose a path we believed was best for GOG, even though it came at a cost to our credibility. It comes to a game like Horses, which was banned from sale on Steam supposedly over outdated scene, he feels the situation was different, saying that its sale on GOG didn't pose any legal, political, or operational risk to our business or partners. There was no other concern driving this decision, just a straightforward evaluation of the game itself. I have to say, GOG explained that they are pulling Devotion from sale at the time like so. After receiving many messages from gamers, we have decided not to list the game in our store. Of course, this might have just been the public reason presented at the time, and Grybiewski is now telling the true version of events. But I find it a bit tough to believe that they hadn't considered the potential business and geopolitical factors up to that point. The game was nearly 2 years old by this point. Still, better to have at least one storefront that willingly releases games with difficult themes occasionally than not at all, I suppose. The players send the messages, apparently. Alright. Not sure. Oh, there we go. Cyberpunk 2077 VR modder hit by alleged second DMCA strike. Forced to temporarily pause Patreon. The Ghost Runner publishers 505 Games have issued the takedown this time, according to modder Lucross. Another one. Another one. Forced to temporarily pause their Patreon page. About section of the modder's Patreon page now hosts the following message. Beware the DMCA notices receiving from CD Projekt SA and 505 Games. I am forced to temporarily pause the Patreon page. You can still subscribe if you want to support me, but we advise that for the moment there will be no benefits available. No access to the 40 plus mods or detailed information about my VR conversions until legal situation clears out. Existing subscriptions will have their access extended for 1 month without further payments. The access extended. So even they need to keep the sub running just so you can play the mods. Alright, I guess. The alleged email from Ross, their subscribers expanding on the situation been posted to our virtual reality. Fast forward to today and another publisher just sent a DMCA takedown notice to Patreon, namely 505 Games, for my VR conversion of Ghost Runner. No mention of any terms of service violation this time. Again, Patreon automatically complied. I don't blame them. DMCA law is carefully worded to give infinite power to big companies who only need to write on a slip of paper that they believe their copyright been infringed in order to nuke from the sky anything they don't like, and to give infinite headaches to creators like me who instead have the only recourse of going to court, sustaining huge costs to get through the legal process. I'll reach the 505 Games for comment. Hoped to make all versions of the mods and also all the posts related to the wonderful work we have done here together for years unavailable, citing the need to avoid incurring any more DMCA strikes in the near future. Cannot stop people from subscribing without closing down the account altogether and making it clear on the about and welcome pages that new subscriptions will have the only effect of supporting me and no access to 40 plus conversions can or will be provided at this time. You don't need to unsubscribe. I paused the billing cycle for 1 month so that your pledges will not be renewed automatically, and those of you who already subscribed will have their access extended for 1 month without further payments. 1 month will be enough for the fog to clear up and to understand what is going to happen to our collective attempt to make VR available for AAA games. Well, yeah, actually, yeah. That's exactly what we were talking before, well, earlier today and a few like a week or two. When was it the last time? We also had this like paid mods conversation going. And yeah, like trying to monetize your works that are based on other people's IPs, that is not gonna fly. They will never allow that. Yeah, it would be. I mean, that's what CDPR actually even told. Like, dude can make the optional donor and that will be fine. That's exactly what CDPR said. They had on the issue not with the mod, but with the fact that he like literally like you're required to pay for the subscription to use the mod. So that seems kind of PP, yeah? That seems quite PP, yeah? But there should be some sort of like 5-head way really to kind of work around with that if you want. Probably, but I do find it kind of weird also. Just like required subscription and everything to like, yeah, as we how we're talking about it before, just like some sort of like crowdfunding things would be probably way better. Like getting that many, you know, like donors and stuff, and there's gonna be the VR mode for some specific game, for example. And that probably would work better. But I do feel, yes, like since the dude was farming like 20,000, you know, pounds per month from that Patreon, then they probably don't want to change the commercial model. They want to keep farming that probably. True, true. True. 46 US lawmakers express serious concerns about Saudi-led EA buyout's impact on game developers. New letter calls on FTC to consider possible anti-worker practices and breaches of antitrust law. That's gonna go through, dude. That's gonna go through. Lawmakers know that EA experienced steep decline in median worker pay year over year and has eliminated more than 1,700 US jobs since 2023, which they consider indicative of a labor market where workers already have fewer alternatives and employers can impose deteriorating conditions without consequence. Consider a aforesaid $20 billion debt package a strong incentive for the acquiring firms to pursue further cost-cutting measures, including layoffs, offshoring, restructuring, or studio closure. We'll see, we'll see. But I think it's still gonna go, though. It's still gonna go. Concerned the purchasing consortium and EA would control enough of the sports sector to restrict worker mobility and reduce bargaining power for employees throughout the industry. Did you build that good investment? Well, yeah. No, I mean, it's the husband of the president's daughter, so, you know, who's right now actually, like, traveling around, like, sorting, you know, the deals and the fucking wars and stuff, too. But yeah, I mean, they probably can do that debt, no problem. A small loan, 20 billion. Look at that, Highguard is coming out next week after all, with a gameplay overview coming out. That's all launch day. Yeah, so there's gonna be the one on January 26th. Well, yeah, 27th, I guess, time zone wise. So yeah, tomorrow already even. January 26th, 10 a.m. PT for Highguard launch showcase. Well, I'm gonna be traveling, but yeah, I'm gonna be checking probably what people will say about this, what it's gonna be in the end. Yeah, what it's gonna be in the end, we'll see. Will it be POG or not? The Pin Keep, the pinball deck building roguelite. Use the ball and the flippers to collect resources and defeat your enemies. Place buildings from your deck on the playfield to defend your keep. Create powerful synergies to eradicate hordes of attacking knights. There is a demo already even. We'll see, we'll see. It's actually from developers of Far and Hurdling. Just kind of interesting, like, you know, very kind of like these, like, artsy games. I played Hurdling not long ago. And now they just kind of like, well, let's get some deck building and stuff going. How many days also will be next week? 2 maximum, I guess. Like tomorrow and Tuesday maximum, because we're gonna be arriving in the evening, so Tuesday I will need to sort out SIM cards for IRLs. So we'll see if there will be enough time. Then maybe Tuesday I will still stream, but yeah, more likely kind of like Wednesday, I guess. We'll see. Maybe Tuesday I'm just gonna like kind of like sleep in and everything too a little. We'll see. We'll see. Tuesday no promises, but like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday for sure. For sure. Okay, yeah, tomorrow just travels, and Tuesday gonna be sorting things out. Might be another travel year, well, at least the first half of it for sure. At least first half. What's gonna be after? We'll see, I guess. Not so sure yet. Not so sure yet. There it is. Greedfall: The Dying World releases on 12th of March 2026. There we go. That is probably not gonna go very well though. And still sitting in the mixed. Still sitting in the mix there. And we miss having permanent long-term home, absolutely, yeah. I just want to kind of like just sit somewhere inside playing fucking video games 24/7 for like at least like a month or something or more. So, yeah. I do miss that. I do miss that. I do be missing that. Still kind of thinking maybe I will get used to it more, to all the travels then. But like when you travel that often, it actually is like kind of tiring. Kind of tiring, you know. Especially when you also want to, but I mean I want to, right? Because otherwise that will be a waste to make the IRLs out of it, make content out of it, stream it and everything. You have all this like kind of anxiety and stuff over that, how things will work, will things work, how'll be the quality and stuff like that. So that also contributes to a little bit of a the tiringness, a bit of being tired with all that sometimes. So just a return and sitting home does seem very appealing. But you know, that is also a good thing. Just kind of getting to the point where you're gonna miss being home. Then actually going home feels very good. Greed fell indeed. Yep, looks like it. Looks like it. Yeah, we'll see about that one. We'll see about that one. I am not so sure. Yeah, actually, yeah, also kind of like reading, I kind of noticed it's just the Dying World, so it's not exactly the Greedfall 2 here in the name. Hello. Yeah, this one still goes with 2. Okay, yeah, this 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Where did they drop that? I guess for actual... here, the Happy New Year already was without 2, looks like. Alright. There it is. The photo mode, alright. Here they mentioned that. Oh yeah, new title, there it is. The name was a little confusing at times as the game isn't technically a sequel and decided a lick of paint was needed. Because of this, the title is changing. We're dropping 2, simply naming it Greedfall: The Dying World. Game still within the universe of Greedfall, you'll still find everything you love in it, from the lore to the story itself. Game title changing across our social media. Steam page will also be updated in the future to reflect the change. Yeah, so that's the way it happened there. A prequel, so that makes sense. True. Greedfall 2 gonna be good again. Well, that if they're gonna have enough money to, you know, to not get the studio closure, I guess. I guess. The Fortress is out. Ooh, mixed. Why though? That was the dungeon crawling. The dungeon crawling there. I saw it, I think, last week, before it was out. So why exactly mixed though? Unpleasant to play due to quality of life issues, alright. A very limited scope. RNG is the deciding factor. Cannot recommend this game at all. Damn son. A wasted potential. RNG all over the place, alright. First half is a grind to get good artifacts. Interesting. The Morkborg Heresy Supreme. Unkind is a darkly enchanting. The Steam page, you know. Got any? I got any. You did. Damn, hello, I see how it is. The algorithm knows. The algorithm knows you there. A Doom Metal Action RPG set in the world of Morkborg. Rich anti-heroes explore a side-scrolling semi-procedural grimdark fantasy world, searching for a way to prevent the apocalypse or make the suffering worse. Always the suffering. The Morkborg. Gotta blame Chud for that. Gotta blame Chud for that. Despair stains the earth. Blaming the chat. This one doesn't get the demo there too, alright. Now speaking of chat, the postcards, very last, probably hour, if not even less maybe, not that many news left. Then it's gonna be over. And tomorrow I will send them. Tomorrow I'll send them. Stalker too high up because you're playing Game Pass. Same actually. Actually same. I'll need to get that at some point. We'll need to get that at some point. No, Have you seen Bet Decay? It is time. It is time. We forgot about that one. We forgot about that one. We forgot about checking that one. There it is now. Oh, there it is now. The roadmap, yeah. Features to expect for Steam Early Access, roadmap regularly updated each month along with the addition of a monthly devlogs. There it is. Check the roadmap. Probably like the script locker. Get it. Unlock the script, dude. Guys, the VIX event. Fuck. Block that stuff. Fine. Features to arrive in early access. Features to arrive throughout and post early access. And there is still no info though. That's a lot of stuff they got there. TBA work in progress, ready for early access, ready for testing. Does seem like it's still a lot. Ready for early access, the dev tracker and alphabet. Alright, well, I mean, it's going somewhere, you know. It's going somewhere. The game core. Feature lifecycle. Oh, it's ready for testing, this one. Oh, okay, so a lot of stuff actually is ready for testing, though. So they do have a lot of stuff already prepared for testing, but not ready for early access yet, though. I'll see how it is. I'll see how it is. No, it's progressing. It's going somewhere. That is good. The Bull X Pit, the Regal update. Oh, there it is. Arrives on Monday. Also, January 26th, and adds 2 characters to the Ball Bounce and Town Building roguelike, Carouser and the Falconer. Detailed in the Steam post, Carouser's ability allows return balls to orbit around him, while the Falconer has 2 falcons at her side that throw balls. 8 new balls join the game alongside several new passives that have not been detailed. The developer also teases additional surprise and is saving until the update launches. You can watch YouTube short of the update, alright. First of 3 big post-launch updates planned for Ball X-Bit in 2026. 2 remaining updates, Shadow and Naturalist, are slated to arrive in April and July respectively. A Regal coming to all versions of Ball X-Bit on PlayStation, Xbox, Switch 2, Switch and PC. So 3 free updates. Will they switch to kind of DLCing later, or just gonna kind of move on? Not gonna try to farm. Damn it, I see. Not even gathering the resources. Yeah, for now I kind of like not really feeling like returning. Yeah, maybe like after a few more, when there is like some sort of like time, the downtime, which rarely happens, and there is so much stuff you want to play in the downtime. But we'll see. Maybe there'll be some in the mood for some balls action, you know, in the mood to play with some balls. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 leads resist calls to scale up. Insist they love making games more than managing. Why would you call for them to scale up, dude? Our vision is to ship quality games, and we don't believe you need to have a lot of people to do that. After they considered ramping up the studio size and scope, given phenomenal success of its JRPG Expedition 33. But no, I think it's good to have limitations when you're creative. It's the best way to be the best version of yourself. We could scale up now, we have a lot of more money, but I would say it's not tempting for us because even the management team and myself would have to be hands-on and doing things for ourselves. We love making games more than we love managing, so we want to keep doing that. Yeah, that is indeed kind of nice. It goes with many things, you know. It's also kind of like you love like streaming, but you don't like doing all the management for everything around it. That also kind of works. That also kind of works, I guess. The scaling way too quickly. I mean, I can see that kind of not too bad. Maybe to do different projects, not to specifically, you know, scale up to make like some more like content padded, you know, games or something like the big games or some stuff like that. More kind of like, you know, scaling up so you can do different projects at the same time, for example. That could be not too bad. So you have kind of like people could pick, you know, which project they can work on. People could switch from one project to another if they kind of like tired of one. People constantly can keep working, right? Because you have like some people, some jobs that are not necessarily, you know, like doing work throughout the whole cycle, right? So they're done with their work for the project and then they kind of, well, shit, what now? Which I assume a lot of those jobs they probably outsourced since they had a lot of like kind of like freelancers, right, and contractors on the side for Claribscur. So I assume they just like kind of outsource that stuff most likely. Because otherwise you just kind of like have those people in, you know, in your company who are kind of like already not doing anything, right? And having multiple projects usually kind of allow you to keep this kind of like this like the circle, the wheel turning, you know, and you always have people working on something. Yeah. I do think like trying to get more people to work on the same stuff. I don't think they need, and I don't think you kind of want. Because yeah, it also kind of makes sense, right? Like literally like what last week or something, one of the Elder Scrolls creators who was kind of like, you know, saying that like it all became kind of like shit. Like we used to kind of work on the game, and then like with more and more games we were doing just management. And same with Todd also, like instead of like actually working on the game, you basically end up working in management. And first of all, that's not something you're probably very good with, right? Because it's not your kind of specialty, I guess, unless you have some sort of like sort of natural kind of talent to that. And you probably also don't really like that, right? Like I can kind of tell, like you need to really like those things. Like when you come into something just for the love of the thing, right? Kind of like with streaming for the love of the streaming, for example, right? And like hanging out with chat and stuff like that, playing video games. And then you kind of like also like outside of it, you need to deal with a bunch of other things that you don't really fucking want to do, but you kind of need to. And the more kind of, you know, professional you kind of want to go, the more of that shit you need to do. And I guess it's the same there too. They came in to make video games and then ended up with like massive team that they need to kind of control and manage now instead of making video games. So for them, I can actually completely see that. Like if they really feel like they just enjoy making games, that's good. That is good, and they can keep doing it without recruiting a shitload of people for that. So that is good. Past 5 years are some of the best of my life, and I want to be happy like that again. In terms of team dynamics, everybody knows everybody in the team. People used to working together. Now we are lucky enough to have a strong foundation from the previous project, but expanding for the sake of expanding is not our vision. Vision is to ship quality games, and we don't believe you need to have a lot of people to do that. There are large teams that deliver great games, of course, but for us, what works best is pretty much our current size. I don't want to change the team structure and dynamic. Yeah, actually, yeah, you own less of that, you know. Like, even like, you know, like they like the game is out, right? A lot of people, you hear their names and stuff. Like, they all get in the spotlight. Like the writer, right, lady got like a lot of spotlight for how things were done. Like the studio leads get a lot of spotlight too. Like they own it, you know. They own the game, sort of. They can. It's more personal. Like it's their game. Not to mention on all the awards, it was like a whole fucking team there, right? Every time on Golden Joystick, on Game Awards, it was the whole of their team pretty much there. Maybe not whole, but like at least it was like a lot of people. Like I don't know, 10 to 15 people on every award. So they all kind of like they feel it's theirs. They made it. And then yeah, then you have like some like Omega Corpor, right? Where you have like, you know, thousands of people sitting and doing that, and you are just like some name in the credits that potentially might even be forgotten to put there, especially if you like kind of like quit at the very end or something, and then you're not even mentioned there. This is not yours. This is like Todd's or someone's, one big name from the studio, and everyone else is irrelevant, and no one even fucking knows you. That is not very fog, I bet. Nexon open to working with more Western developers after Arc Raiders' success. I think this is an exciting and amazing opportunity for us. Didn't you guys just like fucking cut a whole bunch of studios making MMOs and stuff, wasn't it? Wasn't it? I'm mentioning here. Yeah, didn't they just divest from pretty much like a shitload of companies and closed a bunch of MMOs and everything? Even though I guess it was not these, and Nexon 2 also, wasn't it? And do more with developers in Europe and America. Arc Raiders shipped over 12.4 million copies since October release date. Since the start of 2026, 25 days by the way, game sold more than 2.4 million units. Nexon's most successful global launch to date. Able to enjoy more awareness in the Western community now. A lot of different developers who are curious to know how Embark and Nexon work together. I think this is an exciting and amazing opportunity for us. You definitely have this willingness to work more with more Western developers who are innovative. And there it is. But didn't they kind of do that though, and then divested a bunch quite recently? 20-year-old Australian Indie Games Festival Freeplay at risk as government funding dries up. Freeplay's original purpose, championing the value of games as an artistic medium, remains relevant. Years since 2004. A last year operation for the foreseeable future after failing to secure government funding. Festival's organizers admit that though community organizations like Freeplay typically survive off blood, sweat, and tears of volunteers, supported by piecemeal funding opportunities, and the work of running Freeplay events always been a labor of love, often without adequate compensation. Failure to secure funding from Creative Victoria's Creative Enterprises Fund has left it without ongoing funding to support its activities. Disappointed in the outcome and what it implies about how games are currently being prioritized by a Victorian government. Of the 81 arts organizations supported by Creative Enterprises in 26-29 funding round, none are games interactive arts organizations. Feels bad, man. Looks like Australia is not doing some insane government support there. Freeplay's original purpose, championing the value of games as an artistic medium, remains relevant. Games are vital to the creative and cultural fabric of Australia, and Freeplay been an unwavering champion of the freakier side of games for 20 years. Home for the experimental, the weird, and the heartfelt. Hey, boss face, hello. How we doing? How's life? The cornerstone of the Australian games community for over 20 years, the team is now appealing for ideas on how it can use its remaining resources to best serve Australia's developers, as well as request suggestions on alternative funding routes so it can keep championing Australian experimental game making. Yep, Save decided to do some Subnautic in there. Insane. That boss face nice. Doing good, man. Doing good. Doing good. The last day basically here. Kinda sad, yeah. And a lot of travels again, so kinda annoying. But yeah, kinda nice though. Feels good. Tomorrow gonna need to send the postcards, and then we already out. They still available for a little longer until we're done for today, and then we go. Already put the stamps on them. Gonna write the messages, and then off they go tomorrow. A Vampire Survivors spin-off, Vampire Crawlers, gets gameplay details demo in February. So it's gonna be next Fest probably or something, since that's in February. Yeah, Steam Next Fest, February 23rd. Alright, we'll check it. We'll check it. Sounds good. Sounds good. Pocket Pair says it can afford to give indies better publishing deals thanks to a Palworld's success. We realize we're in a position where we're not wanting for anything at the moment. Pocket Pair struggled for many years. We've shipped games that were moderately successful, which just about funded the next thing. We're no stranger to suffering and trying to get by yourself. Shortly after Palworld released, a lot of people reached out to us and solicited, saying, hey, I'm working on this game, and we thought, is there any reason I would get involved? We don't have the resources to really act as a publisher. All of our games have basically been self-published, right? So that entire side of the industry is relatively alien to us. And what surprised us the most was the conditions that are normalized now in the indie publishing world. We're meeting with these 4 or 5 man teams who are looking for what is relatively not a lot of money, and they're very used to just giving up all of their revenue for 1 year. We just couldn't believe it. You want to make this thing that you're totally in love with, and the price you have to pay is someone else taking all your money for years and years and years. We realize we're in a position where we are not wanting for anything at the moment. We can afford to give indies the money they need and not take these huge revenue share agreements. We do much fairer deals that let these developers survive from sale 1 onwards, rather than from sale 50,000 or whatever. I mean, that is very nice of them. It's good that some of the successful, at least successful indies, obviously successful AAAs don't care about that, because successful AAAs buy more yachts and shit. But at least the successful indies actually do be reinvesting back again in the medium. But that is good. A Wildgate maker Moonshot laying off unspecified number of staff. Parent company Dreamhaven says that a game has not attracted enough players for its development team to stay the same size. That's kind of sad, because it did seem like the game was kind of good, but it never really got a lot of people actually playing it though. Which is also, considering the genre and stuff, that basically kind of just leads to a sort of dead game. In the end, most likely. Despite seeing increasing attention on the back of the sci-fi shooter launch on the Epic Games Store earlier this month, it had not been able to bring in enough players to justify development team size. And no word as to how many staff had been made redundant. Despite the increase in player numbers and overall positive reception, it wasn't enough to sustain the science by development team. We made difficult decision to reduce team roles to ensure we can continue delivering updates to the game while working in a way that supports the studio in the long term. Remain focused on a Wildgate's next content update, which introduces more quality of life improvements, including the highly requested progression system, which we anticipate coming later this quarter. Enshrouded #1 game you waiting actually, Ella? Damn son. The crazy Enshrouded Endurers there. Starbreeze reportedly makes another round of layoffs. And multiple employees have shared they are facing redundancy on social media. Today, many of us at Starbreeze Stockholm got sad news, and I am now seeking a new role. After over 70 years, longest I've ever been at any company in any industry, my time has more than likely come. Pharmaceutical tech producer Sabina Joshnik also shared her role had been identified as at risk of redundancy. And last October, they already cut some people off there. Oof. Oof. And the new Terraria update also next week. True. $4 and nearing 800 hours in it. Yep. That is also kind of like a good example of like insane indie success without, you know, farming that shit too much and more pumping the free content. Same with like Stardew Valley, right, and everything. That is also good. Manor Lord's publisher Hooded Horse's CEO argues game agreements violate contract principles. CEO Manor Lord's publisher Hooded Horse Tim Bender has detailed his company's approach to developer contracts, saying that the way most legal agreements in the space are written violate a lot of principles of what's an efficient contract. Chief executive and founder argued that the way many publishers' contracts are drawn up is unfair to developers, saying that there is an uneven distribution of risk. The ways in which game publishing contracts are generally written violate a lot of principles of what's an efficient contract. There are principles involved in how contracts should be done that help everyone. One of the principles is that risk should be borne by the party best able to bear that risk. Hooded Horse's standard contract with developers it partners with gives 65% of revenue to the studio. The publisher does say it takes a larger slice of the pie if it has partially funded the game. It also has no recoup, meaning that it isn't the first in line to take back the money it has spent from revenue. Bender added that publishers recouping their costs, as is often the case with such agreements, is fundamentally stupid. There's a lot of games that come out, maybe they had a little bit of rough launch but could have recovered, or maybe they had a fine launch but it wasn't good enough to overcome some giant recoup term where the publisher was taking all their money back first. If only that hadn't been there, they could have been supported. No publisher out there is making its money from recouping and dragging every last dollar out of things that underperform. Publishers make their money on the games that go well. If you don't have these recoup terms, there's more chances that those other games go well. Developers are better incentivized, better able to create things. Everyone's better off. True. And speaking of the Hooded Horse's cuts, if you buy Hooded Horse games on my Nexus, they actually send me a massive fucking cut. Like insanely massive now. Not just to me, to all content creators who work with them. So if you're interested in some Hooded Horse and games, that would be very much appreciated. They be sharing with content creators a lot. Footage of ZeniMax's cancelled Project Blackbird surfaces online. And there it is. 2 minutes of in-engine footage. Yeah, well, this might end up being kinda, you know, a cease and desisted and everything eventually, so not gonna watch, but it's there. It's there. Not like gonna change much though, because the game is dead anyway, so unlucky. Unlucky. When the Manure Lords 1.0 releases, I mean, there are more bangers there in terms of city building, and not just city building. Like, their catalog is actually insane, dude. And the Whiskerwood is great. Nine Kings was mega insane, because I still am down to play some. The launch stream of Highguard, I mean, I was talking about earlier, I would, but yeah, I'm traveling tomorrow, so I'm not gonna be there. Not gonna be there, unfortunately. Otherwise, I wouldn't mind. Riot MMO secures World of Warcraft lead producer. And Raymond Bartels. Incredibly excited to be joining Riot Games on the MMO team. Very first conversation, Riot immediately gravitated towards their values. Genuinely impressed how clearly those values showed. Again, like the corpus speech there looks like. Looks like. The thing is, like, they already had Ghostcrawler before, right? If I remember correct. And where did that end? With Ghostcrawler just like being kind of dropped, making his own studio, actually working with, like, was it NetEase or like Nexon or some, who later cut the funding and off they go also. So RIP. So it's not like it's the first, you know, World of Warcraft a creator secured. Ghostcrawler's own game, they lost the publisher, they lost financing, and I think they were just exploring the other options for financing, and I think that's pretty much it. Like, it's on hold, if I remember correct. If I remember correct. We'll see. I do be kinda, you know, on... I do be on hopium that the Riot MMO at least actually could be something alright there. Could be something alright at least. But we'll see, I guess. Russia's Call of Duty could cost 10 billion rubles, but the government is ready. Oh yes, that's gonna be cut and put into pockets hard. Developers who propose a large-scale military shooter that echoes Activision's Call of Duty could qualify for support from Internet Development Institute, one of Russia's key state-funded digital initiatives. 124 million bucks. See the application for the allocation of funding for the development of a game and a topic corresponding that indicated in your letter. It will be considered in the established procedure within the framework of the current competitive mechanisms. And there it is. Gonna be again just kinda a bunch of cuts there. A bunch of cuts. Percent of that going into actual development. Well, the insane PPG RPG, they kind of at least end up, you know, patching and fixing for a while for free, so... And still, I think, kind of doing away, so at least that's something. but the product was quite dog in the end, in the beginning, and in the end I think it kind of remained quite dog, and it's gonna be the same here probably. Could be, but whenever you do it this way, I think it never ends well. When you like, instead of like, you know, trying to find a project and then support it, but you kind of go like, yo guys, here's like, you know, the bag with money, who wants it? That never ends well. That never ends well. Fallout 3 and New Vegas remakes not releasing anytime soon, it is claimed. Claimed by who? Oh, just Gordon again, alright. Stated that while the sought-after remakes are on the way, they are not slated for an imminent release and should not be expected in the near future. However, Gordon suggests that when the time comes for these releases, fans should expect to see Fallout 3 remake before New Vegas. Alright, so doing my Vegas playthrough seems kinda safe enough then, I guess. Sure. Should try Fallout Shelter. I mean, why not? I will play on release a little bit. That's kinda alright, I guess. If you're into that kind of games, I did play it for a bit. Quarantine Zone clone appears on Steam, made by game's former lead designer. Okay. Quarantine Zone, a last check, and this is Quarantine Zombies, a release on Steam created by a former lead game designer of Quarantine Zone. Includes everything Quarantine Zone is missing, including a driving, open world map, and modern shooting. Damn son. Looks exactly like Quarantine Zone in many ways. Demo version of Quarantine Zone made lasting impression. Team inspired by it decided to create their own vision, further development of that idea. The game features deep shooting mechanics, strong weapon impact, alright, story campaign. 22 million unique and affected voice lines. Totally not AI. Totally. Quarantine Zombies, there it is. They're mostly positive. It's actually real performance update. And don't mention that stuff here though. Voice overs for some NPC characters. Is AI, I see. And we have Quarantine Zone at home game. Fully optimized, I see. Optimization is shit, alright. Classic, classic. Yes, I see. True, true. Crimson Desert goes gold 2 months before release. So it's ready now. It actually is real. Stay tuned for more news. See you on Pivel on March 19th. There it is. We'll see. We'll see. If I'll manage to secure the access, I wouldn't really mind. Wouldn't really mind. But not so sure. Twice the size of Skyrim is a revolting thing to say. I see. Well, if it will be kinda something Dragon's Dogma-ish, that sounds kinda like my jam, absolutely. Otherwise, not so sure, really. Razer CEO explains why Grok powers its new waifu hologram. Then, that's quite the title right there, Dana. AI-powered desktop device that houses a holographic representation of what has been described as a waifu. Cylindrical device uses Grok AI and dynamic personality metrics to embody a 3D hologram with the human life vision and full contextual awareness. Enthusiastic gaming wingman sits on your desk, organizes your day, keeps you company with conversational model backed at least initially by Elon Musk's Grok AI. And why exactly the Grok? Pick Grok also because it's got the best conversational AI at this point for us. At least from conversation personality side of things. And that's one of the things to be looked at from a tech perspective. Now, ultimately, however, we do see Java as an open platform, right? If somebody wants to be able to use a different model, it's one of the things that we are taking into consideration. Then, so you're gonna have your waifu mecha Hitler there, I guess. All right. Ask how Razer can ensure user safety. And Tan said, I think we're still in the early days, and now the question, I think, where it's going to lead to is something that we need to discover, right? Of course, we need to discover it in a responsible manner to figure out how we do that and put the right guardrails. Definitely best at conversation, really. Well, except when it goes full unhinged mode, I guess. Isn't it? Isn't it? Why would you want this shit? No, people want waifus, dude. There it is. That's probably the main reason why someone would get that, I assume. I would assume. That's probably the main one. Well, I mean, you know, another PPG gimmick that some people will like. And yeah, it has your V waifus there. They're gonna be talking to you and everything. I mean, it's kind of the same as like sort of Alexa and stuff like that, right? Like the assistant thing, but also with like the AI to just yup with it. That is also shaped, well, not shaped really, but looking at least as some of the Wii waifus. So yeah, there it is. Sushi, I say. A Black Flag remake likely delayed by up to 1 year. A new release. Allocate development time to 7 games in order to ensure enhanced quality benchmarks fully met and maximize long-term value creation. Includes an announced title initially planned for financial year 26 that has been delayed to 27. From what we know, Assassin's Creed 4 A Black Flag Remake is the only game that fits that criteria. Now, kind of considering all the cancellations, that makes sense. At the same time, it's just a remake, you know, and that's like easy money for them, so they really need to delay it though. Hard to say. I mean, maybe it is actually quite raw there. True. Starfield co-lead designer reflects on game's shortcomings. Let's see. Oh, the same guy. They just like keep you know, dismantling the interview, I guess. Smoother launch compared to Fallout 76. Oh man, like anything is smoother launch compared to Fallout 76, really. Mentions that within Bethesda, some were surprised the game failed to win over players. When it came out, I thought it was a good game. It was a releasable game, but it wasn't the best. We tried to take this huge leap into this new genre with all these new systems and things. I don't know that you should expect that if you jump into the space combat genre that you're going to be better or as good as games that just do that. and have maybe been doing it for multiple iterations, right? Like it was good enough, it wasn't like embarrassing. Yeah, that we already read. Shouldn't just market it like that, yeah. True. Well, I don't think that was the issue exactly. If anything, like the space combat, for example, wasn't bad. Like, yeah, sure, I guess, like, well, I mean, I'm also, like, I'm not the target audience, I guess, of all those space combat simulators, right? Like, I did play some long time ago, and yeah, sure, like, the controls and stuff would be better in those, but for average player, I think what was in Starfield was fine, in terms of the combat in space. The thing is, it was just like not something you really do actually. I see, Rev, I see. Yeah, did that, that we did. Yeah, there's plenty more other issues. That were the shortcomings there, I think. And actually, like some of the shortcomings, I think they probably even like still refuse to acknowledge. You know, that for example, that Emilio with his writing sucks fucking balls, for example. That they refuse to acknowledge it, I think, you know. And that all this like exploration thing is kind of like cool, I guess, but when you just like provide a bunch of same open world empty planets, no one cares about that shit, honestly. It didn't really do anything that other games didn't do much better, but it was cool that you could do all that there, though. It's just like the issues were on a different level, I feel. Like with space combat was fun. It was alright. I did enjoy that actually. Like trying to kind of like, you know, to board some starships and stuff like that. Like I did like that. It's just the problem is to do that, to do a lot of things, you needed to kind of like jump through a bunch of hoops. Like you want to get like some action in space, you're most likely gonna need to go and get some repeatable garbage bounty quest, right? So you actually get some action spawned for you, because otherwise you just do like, you know, those like fast travels between some systems, and with high probability you're not gonna get any action whatsoever. You just like appear in the orbit, land, you know, lift off, fast travel. Sometimes when you fast travel, you get like some random encounter that most likely gonna just get destroyed instantly. But if you actually want to get some decent action, or like action on purpose, right, then you go some bounty. Same with combat also. Like you like in previous games, you could just run and explore stuff, and then there's like, oh, some like raiders, right, or like some raiders fighting like something else, and you can become part of that shit. And that was fun. Like emergent gameplay and stuff was fun too. Here you just kind of like, you want to fight something on the ground, you most likely also need to take some bounty mission, because otherwise if you land on some random planet, you're not gonna fight shit, or you're gonna find some little aliens, rarely, that are really like scuffed anyway. So yeah, all of that was just weird. Like all the systems I think were actually kind of okay. Like, well, could use some more work, right? All this like fast travel with all those cutscenes was kind of annoying, but okay, fine. I can take it. I can take it. But it's just like the main issue was that you don't even use a lot of those systems normally. Like you need to go out of your way to actually have fun. Like I literally remember I was just taking some bounties just because I wanted to go and get some like space fights and stuff. Like I went to get some bounties to do some boarding. I was going to get some bounties. And you also didn't really get that much like value from that. Like you can board, but you can't really yoink the ship in a way. So like you board just to get like some scuffed like subpar loot that also at some point you don't care about because you have everything. So all this stuff is pointless already. And 2.0 update will be the second coming of Jesus. Well, I mean, if they will realize what they need to change in my opinion at least, right? I don't know, like maybe some people had issues with other things too. But what I see the issue with is that it's just like a lot of systems that are kind of fun, but they all slapped on some like weird, you know, main foundation that doesn't let you enjoy those systems even. Partially because of all those like massive amounts of like planets that no one fucking needs. Now, there were some people who did, I guess, enjoy like, you know, going to all those empty planets and using photo mode to take some screenshots of like different, you know, like views of the space of the planet and stuff like that. But like that's just, you know, it's a very niche audience, I guess, let's put it that way. It's a very niche audience. The majority of people don't care about that stuff. They just want to have some action. They just want to like, you know, have space combat, have land combat. And even if there's people who don't care about that too much but want to get dang story, well, you cocked with that too, because story is fucking dog, absolutely. Like, I kind of in general, not a big enjoyer of Bethesda stories, right? And Bethesda games, but at least it's usually like only main quests. Like side things usually are kind of fun. Like all the guild quests in Elder Scrolls, at least in those that I played, were like fun and some really good. Here, there's no redeeming qualities for writing whatsoever. Like, all the quests are dog shit. Like, the only one memorable that I still find that was kind of cool is the one where you have some time jumps when you, like, arrive at some station or whatever, some, like, mines or some, like, research station on the planet, and then you kind of need to, like, travel in time to pass, like, through some areas to do some stuff, you know, you're just basically switching the different sort of realities, different timelines, just teleporting in between them and get different state of the same station. That was fun. That quest and that mission, not even quest I think was just quite basic anyway, but like at least the way it was, you know, kind of done, that was kind of fun. But everything else was weird. No weird aliens, anomalies. Yeah, anomalies could be kind of cool. Like when you get like some, again, right? Like you randomly can on some stations, for example, like, well, not randomly, but I don't think there was anything on like the main quest lines like that. You could get like some like, you know, like no gravitation station to explore or something. Or there was like one, I think, mission where you were chasing the guy in like some sort of like asteroid belt, whatever thingy. That was also kind of nice, but then again, that was like once in all game, in all playthrough. So like you have all this like amazing shit that you could utilize, but you don't. You basically just don't. So gameplay wise, it gets kind of boring because you need to go out of your way to enjoy it. The perk system also is like has some kind of on one hand some cool things, on the other hand it becomes like mega grindy. The settlement system thankfully is not even necessary, thank god. Like I hate this shit, and thankfully you don't need it because you can just go to the store and just buy all this ore and stuff that you need and have no problems with crafting and doing whatever you want. So at least that is actually good, because I just don't care about don't like all this like settlement building shit really. But at least through the build settlement I managed to actually get a lot of level ups just to test different things and try the different skills and how they, you know, change and improve. And mostly they kind of dog shit. Like there's almost no interesting perks. Like the only ones I remember was like basically the jetpack line, right? That allows you to like burn people with the jetpack and shit, right? Some guns I think had like some advanced perks that were doing something at least, you know, interesting. But majority are like, yeah, plus 20% damage, you know, unlocking the ability to upgrade your ship with like higher tier components, right? And that's it, like nothing interesting there whatsoever. See, Steve, I see. See, I think it's just kind of like it actually all those systems and everything that the guy mentions, I think are actually not even that bad. And I don't think there was a lot of people, well, maybe there were some people who were expecting some sort of like insane, right, like the space combat thingy, but I think that was the minority of people. Like if anything, I think majority of people getting the game, they kind of knew what they're getting. They're getting RPG in space, right? They're not getting some space combat simulator. So for many people, for me, for example, that was decent enough space combat, you know, actually quite all right. And with boarding and other features you could do, it was okay. Not top tier, but it was fun. You just barely do that. That's the problem. Xbox developer direct everything announced. We watched that one, so gonna go deep into that. But yeah, Forza Horizon. The Forza Horizon, the May. Beast of Reincarnation, that did potentially look kinda interesting. We'll see. In summer and on Game Pass also, that is good, maybe. Spring is Kiln, which I don't really care much. Not really. Not really my jam. The co-op enjoying. The friend slope is not my thing. Most of the time, with rare exceptions, I guess. And yeah, Fable seemed nice. Fall 2026, so I will maybe try to kind of maybe fit at some point the Fable actually, the old one in. Maybe. Like Boomerton would be good, but like Boomerton already right now has things going. And after those things are done, I still have that Vegas planned, you know, so there is still a lot of stuff. Really. EA seeking production director for new Mass Effect. Not the job you're listing. Looking for production director with the passion for the Mass Effect universe to serve as a high-impact leader on our next Mass Effect title. We'll partner closely with creative leadership, studio teams, and internal and external partners to champion the game's vision and ensure its execution at the highest quality bar. There it is. EA and BioWare remain committed exclusively to the series and noted that there are more stories to tell in the universe. Also been suggested that many believe the next title in the series will be a make-or-break moment for BioWare, the turbulent development of Dragon Age The Veilguard. What is fucking dead? We'll see. Control Resonant release window is set for Q2 2026. There it is. Another investor thing there. End of Q2 2026 was first half 27. Significantly altered our revenue estimates for the coming years. Previously assumed that Annapurna's share of the game's sales would be outside of Remedy's income statement, but it appears that this share will also flow through Remedy. Thus, our revenue estimates have increased accordingly, but Annapurna's share is reflected as an expense in the income statement as well. Net assumption regarding Control Resonant's return for Remedy over the first 3 years remains essentially unchanged. We now assume that Remedy will receive royalties from the Max Payne project only in 2027, was Q4 26. Even though the game may still be released in 2026, we estimate Control Resonant will sell approximately 1.8 million copies in 2026 and approximately 2.2 million copies in 2027. I'm already like estimating all this stuff, like dude. You sure about that? You sure? How much did you estimate for the Firebreak, you know, for example? Let us know. Some people are really salty that he plays the brother. Why though? It's just a kind of like a side game, really. It's not like the second game or something, really. So why not? Original Control sold over 5 million copies, additionally been played by over 20 million players across various platforms. We'll see. Fictionalized Manhattan will be. Peak of Paranatural Crisis, likes of which never been seen. Federal Bureau of Control is running out of options. NBC deploys Dylan Faden, their former captive, to take on a mysterious cosmic entity that is altering the fundamental aspects of our reality. As Dylan, you must harness your newfound supernatural abilities and take on a myriad of mind-bending threats. The fight will take you through multiple warped areas of Manhattan, allowing you to explore an unfamiliar world reshaped by a cosmic force that is defying natural law, distorting gravity and reordering Manhattan into geophysical nightmare. Sure, you get to play as both? Well, maybe there will be some sort of flashbacks or something, but seems like the main one gonna be the guy. A big sequel story-wise. I mean, from description, doesn't really seem like it. It does feel like it's just actually like very massive sort of spinning off. Well, not spinning off, but like kind of side story, right? And like in different situations completely. So I don't know. We'll see, I guess. We'll see, I guess. Being melee focused. Well, I mean, to each their own. I don't know who's salty about that. I am for one happy. Because the gameplay in the first Control was kind of dog shit, like, let's be real. Like, the world and the story is good, but the gameplay was kind of meh. This at least kind of looked more fun. I don't know. We need to play to see, but from just the visuals, it did seem kind of like it might be more fun. Alright, let me see. There is more stuff. I wasn't there. Some news gear there, some more. Alright, and this way ahead, good. Dread Mist was delisted from Steam following NCSoft copyright complaint. Damn son. Throwback MMO style with both a PvP and PvE, and the time we pointed out that there was a bit of drama swirling around the launch. Little known about the company and its policies, server rollbacks, insufficient content, RNT bots, and an unsurprisingly toxic player base with little moderation. Perhaps some of that was alleviated by the new dungeon added this week, but it's gonna be hard for most people to find out unless they already have the game, because game's Steam page has vanished. Oh, there were also hard assets from a bunch of games, I see. Owing to what appears to be a complaint from NCSoft, apparently players who accused Dread Mist of using assets from NCSoft games, Aeon among them, were correct. The game's purveyor says they were purchased from a third-party seller that actually did the yoinking. That means the game is off Steam, at least for now. Sounds audio have to be replaced. Sounds a bit far-fetched, but Redditors point out asset seller was also dispensing assets from World of Warcraft. Though how it wasn't obvious to the creators is left unsaid. Either way, maybe best to stay away from the game until all this is sorted out. Stay tuned, apparently. Announcement, quick update on the Void War situation. So, is it still there? Yep. Valve pulled a Void War Steam page after DMCA notice that says Games Workshop is claiming copyright infringement. However, we have not received any other communication from Games Workshop, and the only claimant information Valve has provided is Games Workshop public-facing infringements inbox and the name Mal Reynolds. Just like the main character from Firefly. We have not gotten any response from Games Workshop when we emailed that inbox, so right now we can't independently verify who submitted it beyond what the notice. Proceeding through the standard DMCA process to get the page back up, and we'll post updates as soon as we have confirmed info. It's interesting that if someone completely random just like did DMCA strike on the game, having nothing to do even with Games Workshop. Now that is an interesting system in the works there, I guess. Hey, Portable, hello. How we doing? Hello. Yeah, I hope they will sort that out. Yeah, made it to the end because yeah, we're about to finish. Today we're finishing early because tomorrow is the move. So I'm gonna finish. I already stamped the postcards. Now I'm gonna write the postcards. Then I'm gonna be packing all the stuff. I did get the transfer, I think, kind of confirmed. At least that's what they said. So hopefully we're good for tomorrow with that at least. So yeah, the annoying fucking parking though. Hate that shit. Hate that shit, dude. Parking is annoying. I really do hate it. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Sushi, I see, alright. It was waiting to happen, I see. So yeah, we gonna be moving tomorrow. Tomorrow we are moving to Vietnam. Gonna be fun because I also still didn't get my visa sorted out. Tomorrow hopefully gonna be the day of their another response, either with actually giving the visa or asking for some more shit, which I kind of don't really need. I'm just gonna go with the stamp in. I guess we have 45 days with the stamp alone, so I guess I hope it will arrive actually, so we can stay for a couple of months in one place, you know, because like constant, like regular moving around is very, very exhausting. Let's put it that way. Like 2 months been here, a bit less than 2 months, but close to it, and yeah, it's like no, need more, dude, need more. These 2 months just kind of flew by completely. So yeah, gonna be some IRL next week. Enjoy the snorkeling. Nice portable, nice. It was fun. It was fun. I'm gonna hopefully do more. There are some islands with good snorkeling in Vietnam too, but looking at them up, they kind of further away, and I don't know how good the quality of a connection will be there. So we'll see. We're gonna go there just to snorkel and to test with my friend, and if it's good, then I'm gonna try to do some more snorkeling streams there too. So yeah, hopefully we'll get that going. But yeah, basically tomorrow off, Tuesday maybe off because tomorrow will arrive kind of late, and Tuesday I will need to sort out SIM cards and stuff for IRL streams, right? So it usually is not really long, doesn't take long usually, but we'll see. We'll see, maybe we'll just in general kind of like take it a little more chill with Tuesday, but yeah, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday for sure gonna be IRLs from Ho Chi Minh City. And Sunday we're moving to the lot, so hopefully on Monday already I will do the lot stream. Monday, not tomorrow, but next one. Monday and I guess Tuesday also we can do like a couple of days in the lot. And after that already go to Nha Trang. We're gonna be staying, well, hopefully with visa we're gonna be staying there for 2 months. If not, then probably for like a month or something, and then moving again. And that will be annoying, so hopefully not. Even though I guess Vietnam Mark will be mostly moving with the buses and everything, so at least that makes packing easier, because right now I'm just like packing itself is not that bad. It's more like, you know, kind of arranging everything and packing everything so you fit in the weight limits for the luggage and stuff. That's the annoying part. At least on the bus you kind of don't really care, just like throw shit in and bus will take it, at least, you know, no problems. So that at least gonna be a bit easier traveling around there, but tomorrow gonna be fun. So yeah, that is going to be it. I will send postcards tomorrow. That's gonna close the Distorgia right after the stream. And gonna go in the morning tomorrow, send them. I got them stamped. I'm gonna write them and send them. Yeah, gonna be like some photos and stuff, most likely like on Discord and Instagram and all that stuff, as usual, So yeah, I'll see ya. I will see ya. Yeah, feels bad, guess the body feels bad. Just the end. So yeah, I'll see you. Well, actually, wait a second. We do have CB streaming, right? CB was streaming there. It looks like. So let's raid the CB then. Boom. There we go. So yeah, get the raid going. Yeah, we'll see you all either Tuesday or kind of most likely Wednesday, just to be on the safe side. Probably around usual time, maybe a bit later, we'll see. We will see ya. Oh, MK was around. MK was around here, Gustmania, in Discord and here, so at least he's good. At least he's good. So yeah, we gonna be back already from Vietnam with IRL streaming next week. probably around the regular time starts because of the time zones, right? Like my usual start 9 a.m. European time in Vietnam, and here is basically 3 p.m. So yeah, most likely gonna be like starts around that, like 9 a.m., 10 a.m. maybe CET, and not super long because IRL walking around until late is kind of pointless anyway, most likely, right? So we're gonna try to get all the sightseeing, all the food and everything, some short-ish IRL streams. And so yeah, next week